Let's now move to the teaching of listening skills within a classroom. As I have already mentioned that listening is an important skill, but unfortunately it is usually taken for granted by many teachers, especially in second language learning contexts where this is not emphasized upon, and it's the reading and writing, and at the maximum speaking gets some attention. But listening is usually ignored, sometimes because of the lack of awareness among teachers, and other times it could be because of the lack of the equipment which is necessary for implementing listening skills activities within a classroom. We could see that listening is not only a foundation skill for the speaking skills or communication skills, it's also a skill in its own right. So it should be emphasized, especially within a second language classroom. How we see the teaching of listening skill itself and its comprehension process in second or foreign language classrooms, this could be seen from 4 different perspectives. The first perspective or model here informs us that could be seen as listening and repeating, and the learner goals in this listening and repeating model could be to pattern match, to ask students to match what they listen to, and in this case they could imitate and memorize the material they listen to. The second model focuses on listening and answering comprehension, questions or queries, and in this mode or model we could see the goals are to process discrete point information or to listen and answer comprehension questions. So students might be expected to answer certain questions after listening to a material. We move to the third model and we see this is based on task listening. And in this kind of listening, the goals are to process spoken discourse for functional purposes, to listen and do something with the information, that is, carry out real tasks using the information received. So students might be asked to perform certain tasks in order to know how far they have been able to judge and understand what they have listened to. So this model believes in developing some tasks, and it's really a skillful job. Tasks for knowing students' success in listening. Model 4 is more interactive and is based on the use of language. In this model, the goals are to develop oral and oral skills in semi-formal interactive academic communication. To develop in critical listening might listen to and evaluate the material at the same time, and then developing critical thinking and effective speaking abilities among students. Because when they would evaluate or analyze what they listen to, they would have to respond to that. And in this way, they would be encouraged to speak according to their thinking. There are certain principles for teaching listening skills, and the principles I will share with you comes from Harmer in his book which was published in 1998. First and foremost is knowing the importance of equipment in a listening classroom activity. Equipment is as important as the material itself, because this could create a real hassle if the equipment is not ready at the time of activity or it is out of order. So an instructor or other people around him should ensure that the equipment is ready by the time teacher intends to begin his activity. Preparation is also necessary on the part of teacher, because if he listens to what he is about to make his students listen to within the classroom, he could prepare some important activities for his students. At the same time, he could choose the material which would be according to the level of the understanding of his students. Otherwise, the listening material could be beyond the level or understanding of the students, and this could create problem in a real classroom. There is a need for repetition as well, because repetition makes the text easier for learners, and it helps them know, judge and understand some important linguistic features. First listening may not be easy for many learners. Then encouragement to focus on the content and not only on the language in a listening activity. Student must be asked to comprehend what they listen to. Mere focusing on language elements may not be that helpful in developing listening comprehension among students. At the end, we could see that different listening strategies might be adopted at the different stages of a listening activity. One activity may not be enough to be implemented at all stages of a listening activity. A good teacher would exploit a listening material to its maximum, and in this way, he would probably develop different activities for the different stages of learning. And at initial stages, for example, could be simpler activities, and at a later stages, he could make listening activities or the queries more complex and challenging for the students.